Hey everyone! Welcome back to the Brain Juice channel. Ancient Greece, right? Super cool stuff. It's like stepping into a time machine and landing in a world full of wonders. Imagine walking through those ancient ruins, feeling the weight of history around you. The Parthenon, Socrates, big thinkers, big buildings. These structures aren't just stone and marble, they're the embodiment of human ambition and intellect. But guess what's even cooler? They're myths. These stories have been passed down through generations, captivating minds and sparking imaginations. We're talking crazy stories of gods, monsters, heroes, bad guys, the whole shebang. These tales are filled with epic battles, moral lessons, and larger-than-life characters. These stories are super old, like way older than your grandpa. They date back thousands of years, yet they still resonate with us today. They tell us what these ancient folks believed in, what they thought was important, and how wild their imaginations were. Through these myths, we get a glimpse into their daily lives, their values, and their dreams. Greek myths aren't just dusty old stories, they're like a peek inside people's heads, their hopes, their fears, and how they tried to figure out the world. These tales are windows into the human psyche, revealing timeless truths about our nature. Take Zeus, the big boss of the gods, and his crazy family. His stories are filled with drama, power struggles, and divine interventions. Or Heracles, super strong dude, and Odysseus, the guy who just couldn't get home. Their adventures are legendary, showcasing strength, perseverance, and cunning. We still love these stories today. They continue to inspire art, literature, and even modern entertainment. They pop up everywhere, from Shakespeare plays to those superhero movies you love. These myths have a way of weaving themselves into our cultural fabric, influencing countless works. Why? Because they're about stuff we all deal with: love, heartbreak, getting tricked, making a comeback. These universal themes make the stories relatable, no matter the era. Even though they're old, they're still about being human. They remind us that despite the passage of time, our core experiences and emotions remain the same. Okay, so Greek mythology is basically a bunch of awesome stories from ancient Greece. These tales have been passed down through generations, capturing the imagination of people for centuries. They are not just simple stories, they are epic sagas filled with gods, heroes, and mythical creatures. They believed in lots of gods, not just one, each with their own unique personalities, powers, and domains. These gods were deeply intertwined with every aspect of life and nature. And these stories explained like everything: how the universe got started, why it rains, why people are the way they are. They provided answers to the mysteries of the world and offered moral lessons and cultural values. These gods lived on Mount Olympus, think VIP lounge in the sky. It was the ultimate divine hangout spot, where the gods would gather and make decisions that affected both the heavens and the earth. Zeus was the head honcho, the king of the gods, wielding his mighty lightning bolt to maintain order and justice. Hera, his wife, was in charge of families, marriage, and childbirth. Poseidon bossed the oceans, controlling the seas and causing earthquakes with his trident. Hades ran the underworld, spooky, ruling over the realm of the dead and ensuring that the souls of the deceased were properly taken care of. And Athena, the brainy one, helped out humans. She was the goddess of wisdom, warfare, and crafts, often guiding heroes and offering strategic advice. These gods weren't just chilling in the clouds though. They were actively involved in the lives of mortals, influencing events and shaping destinies. They were always getting involved in human stuff, falling in love, starting wars, and even disguising themselves to walk among humans. Messing with people's lives, total drama queens and kings. Their actions often led to epic tales of heroism, tragedy, and adventure. The myths tell us about their complicated relationships, their good sides, their bad sides, and how they messed with us humans. These stories reveal the gods' strengths, weaknesses, and their very human-like flaws. From the sad love story of Orpheus and Eurydice, where love and loss are poignantly depicted, to Achilles, the tough guy in the Trojan War, whose strength and vulnerability became legendary. Greek mythology is full of stories that taught people stuff and kept them entertained. These myths were not just entertainment, they were a way to understand the world, impart wisdom, and preserve the cultural heritage of ancient Greece. If you're enjoying this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell. Nobody knows exactly when these stories started. They seem to have been around forever, passed down through countless generations. It was way before anyone wrote anything down. These tales were part of an oral tradition, shared around campfires and in bustling marketplaces. People just told them to each other like, Hey, did you hear about Zeus and that bull? These stories were a way to explain the world around them and to entertain. People moving to Greece brought their own stories and they all kind of mixed together like a giant story smoothie. This blending of myths created a rich tapestry of legends. The Mycenaeans, who were around a super long time ago, probably started a lot of these stories. Their influence is seen in many of the myths that have survived. But then someone invented the alphabet, game changer. This allowed for the preservation and dissemination of these stories in a way that oral tradition couldn't match. Suddenly people could write stuff down. This was a revolutionary moment in history, as it meant that stories could be recorded and shared more widely. That's when Homer came along and wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey. These epic poems became cornerstones of Greek literature and culture. They're about the Trojan War and a guy named Odysseus who just couldn't catch a break. His adventures and misfortunes captivated audiences for centuries. Then there's Hesiod, who wrote the Theogony, which is like the family tree of the gods. His work provided a framework for understanding the divine hierarchy. It tells you who came from who and how Zeus became the top dog. These stories have shaped our understanding of mythology and continue to influence modern storytelling. For the ancient Greeks, myths weren't just bedtime stories, they were a big deal. They built temples for the gods everywhere like giant fan clubs. They had huge parties for the gods with parades, gifts, and plays. The Olympics? That was a party for Zeus. It showed how much they loved sports and heroes, just like in the myths. Myths were everywhere, not just in temples. Philosophers like Socrates and Plato used them to explain their big ideas. Playwrights wrote super dramatic plays based on myths. Artists and sculptors made statues and paintings of gods and heroes so everyone could see what they were supposed to look like. Basically, myths were like the internet of ancient Greece. Everyone was talking about them. That's it for today's video. Like, comment, and subscribe for more brain-busting content.